So a couple months ago, I did a collaboration video with another YouTube channel, and the topic was how English is the easiest language in the world to learn. And one of the points that I made that I still believe is that right now, in 2019, there has never been a time where it is easier to find English lessons, English learning material, and to find people to practice English with. There are so many awesome resources out there to help you learn English, but sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming, because you aren't sure what will work best for you and you don't want to waste your time and money. So for today, I thought I could talk to you guys about each type of English resource, each different way to learn English, discuss some of the pros and cons, and give my final recommendation for what I think is the best lesson plan to help someone improve their English as quickly as possible. Let's get started. The first study method that I want to talk about is free videos and English learning websites. This includes YouTube channels like mine and all the other awesome English channels out there, as well as free websites like this one, Breaking News English. I think the biggest pros of using free websites like this are that, one, they don't cost any money, and that is awesome, and you can study whenever and wherever you want. You can study on the subway, you can study at home, in a cafe, and at any time of the day. And also, there are tons and tons of choices out there. It is amazing to me how many awesome YouTube channels there are and how many great free English websites there are. But some of the downsides, some of the negative things are that, one, usually this is not structured. The lesson plans are not organized, and if you study something on different days, usually they will not be connected to each other. So it can be really hard to create a long-term lesson plan if this is your only way to study. But the biggest problem is that there is a lot of input, so a lot of information coming to you, a lot of listening and reading, and almost zero output. You really don't get a chance to speak, write, or have English conversations if your only way to study is videos and free websites. And also, you have to be motivated because there's no one telling you to go to English class. There's no requirement in your schedule, so it's a lot easier to just tell yourself that you'll study tomorrow, and you keep doing that, and eventually you haven't studied in 4 weeks and you've forgotten a lot of the English that you learned. Overall, I think studying with free videos is awesome for extra or supplemental studying. So what I mean is, I think everyone should do this and everyone would benefit from this, but I don't think it should be your main or your only way to learn English. This is also great for answering specific English questions you have. If there are a few words you don't understand, you can probably search them on YouTube and find a video that explains the difference. There is really no chance to speak or write by using this study method. So if that is your main goal, if you really need to improve your speaking or your writing, you should probably focus on another way to learn English. The next way I want to talk about is with paid online courses and textbooks that you can buy. So these are pretty similar to the first way, except that usually they are more organized. So that can be awesome if you want to have a long-term structured lesson plan. And usually these are more detailed than the free material. So if you buy a set of English learning videos, they'll probably be longer and they'll probably go into a little bit more detail than free videos on YouTube about the same topic. However, just like with the other method, there's not a lot of output here. There's not much chance to speak or write, and you can't really ask specific questions. So I think this is another great way to get some extra studying in, but I don't think it should be your main only way to learn English. I think the organization and the structure that paid courses and textbooks offer make them a little bit better for beginners and students who just don't know where to start when it comes to learning English. But like I said, if you really want to focus on speaking and writing, you will probably want to study a different way. So the next way is in a group live English class. This is with a real teacher who is actually there speaking with you and speaking with the other students. This can be in person, so you would go to an English academy, or online. And I think these are great because they're organized, there's lots of chances to ask questions, and you can actually speak with a teacher and speak in English, so you can get some great conversational practice. An added bonus of studying in a group means that you can make friends and meet other people who are also studying English. And then maybe you can find some study partners, which will be super motivating and encourage you to continue your English journey. However, if you are in a group class, you probably won't get as much individual attention, and the lesson plans will not be customized just for what you want. Usually there will be a set lesson plan and you will just follow along with that. And finally, how much you learn from a group lesson, it will kind of depend on how good the teacher is. If you have a great teacher, these are an awesome resource, but if the teacher is not very good, group classes can be a disappointment and you might not learn as much as you hoped. In the future, I'm actually going to make a video specifically about English teachers and how students can tell if their English teacher is good or not, because sometimes that's a little bit difficult if you're a beginner. I think group classes are great for meeting people to study with. They're also really good for shy students because it can be really scary going into a one-on-one lesson and trying to speak English for an hour with somebody that you don't know very well. But I don't think these are the best way if you want to really improve your speaking quickly, or if you have very specific English goals, if you're learning for a specific reason or situation. Finally, let's talk about one-on-one English lessons. This would be when it is just you and the teacher. That is all. So these can be in person or online. There are tons of great English tutoring websites such as Preply and italki. Each of these websites have tons and tons of different teachers, so you can find one that works best for you. The best part of working one-on-one is that you get lessons customized for exactly what you want. And there's tons of output. You will spend most of the class speaking and listening and having conversations with your teacher. So if you really want to improve your speaking and your confidence, one-on-one lessons are the best way to do that. However, they are probably the most expensive way to study English. There are some teachers that have really low prices, maybe $5 or $6 for a 1-hour lesson, but most of the time these teachers are not very good and they're not native English speakers. So if you really want a high quality lesson with a native English speaker, it's probably going to be pretty expensive. Sometimes in life, we get what we pay for, which is a popular saying. It means that if you buy something cheap, the quality will be bad. If you spend a lot of money and you are willing to buy something expensive, the quality will be good. I think that's very true when it comes to one-on-one English lessons. So for students that can afford one-to-one lessons, these are awesome for improving quickly and helping you reach your specific goals. I think if your plan is to live abroad or to study abroad, you should absolutely get as much practice in a one-on-one setting as possible. However, if you are just studying casually and you don't have a lot of extra money, you should probably use your money for something else. This might not be the best way to spend it. The last way we'll talk about are language exchange meetups and applications. Two of the most popular examples are HelloTalk and Bilingua. These are apps you can download onto your phone. The benefit here is that you can actually get some output practice, and it's free or really inexpensive. You can meet new people, and that can be really fun and motivating for you, so you'll want to study more and more. However, depending on the situation, there might not be a lot of actual teaching. It will be more like just chatting or having conversations than actually learning grammar or learning new vocabulary. And unfortunately, there can be some weird people in language exchange apps, so just be careful. If someone seems kind of strange, maybe find a different person to practice English with. So just like the free YouTube videos, these are fantastic for extra English practice and for students that don't get a chance to use English in their day-to-day lives. However, I don't think this should be your only form of studying. And if you are a total beginner and you really struggle to make even a simple English sentence, you should probably study more in a classroom setting before trying out a language exchange app. Okay, so here is my final recommendation for what I think is the best way to study English. And it is to use a little bit of all of these resources. So don't just limit yourself to one thing. Watch YouTube videos, but go to English classes, try to find language exchange partners, and try to immerse yourself in English as much as you can. Here's maybe an example lesson plan that I think would be fantastic for helping someone improve. Maybe on Tuesday night, you have a formal English lesson. You either go to a group class, or if you can afford it, work with a one-on-one English tutor. And then maybe Thursday night, you go to a language exchange class or go to a meetup where you know that people will be speaking English. And then maybe Sunday, you meet with a friend to practice English a little bit in the afternoon, and the other days of the week you study on your own. You can study homework that your English teacher recommended in your formal class, and you can also watch YouTube videos and study other free English resources that you can find on your own. So hopefully that makes sense, guys. Hopefully this has motivated you and given you a better idea of what you need to do to improve your English as quickly as possible. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the comments below. Keep studying hard, guys, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.